Good morning, everybody, and thanks very much indeed for joining us at the Swindon and Wiltshire Local Enterprise Partnership Conference. And we're now about to start this fantastic session with a roundtable discussion with some SME business leaders who've got great things to bring to our area and great experiences and really interesting stories. They've got something to add. So we're joined this morning by Tessa, Johnstone, by Surinder, Hothi-Bellamy, and by Jimmy Braimah. And that's our team at the moment. I'll just ask if we can do it in an order. So if Tessa, could you just introduce yourself and say something about your business first of all? It'd be great to get us started. Thanks.
Thank you, Paddy. So I'm Tessa Johnstone. I've got a small business, which is a landscaping and design business. We're based fairly near Chippenham, so just outside of Swindon. I employ a team of 10. And we tend to build very big, lovely gardens and a lot of more commercial projects and engineering-based projects. But we're relatively small. We turn over at the moment around $1 million. And that's where we're kind of sitting at the moment. So we're that size, 10 people, around $1 million turnover. And we tend to stay in the southwest.
Great. Thank you, Tessa. Thanks so much indeed. Excellent. Jimmy, can you tell us about yourself and your business as well?
Okay. Thank you, Paddy. Thank you, everyone, for joining. My name is Jimmy Braimah. As you know, I run a HR technology startup. We're based in the heart of Swindon, and we're still considered a small business. But part of our plan is to grow and grow very fast. So what we're doing is bringing HR technology, use it for companies to hire software engineers. I currently have hire one person in the UK with about 6 people in Africa. And what we want to do, what we're trying to do is help businesses reduce their costs with hiring by using a platform, where they can do everything seamlessly for themselves.
Excellent. Great stuff. Thank you very much indeed. And Surinder, tell us about your business.
Thank you, Paddy. Good morning, everybody. We are Pure Punjabi, and we're a heritage multi-award-winning Indian meal kits producer, an Indian food events business, and a cookery school. And we deliver B2C and B2B. We are difficult to say where we're based at the moment. We on the principle of go big or go home. We went to go big and go homeless. So we are currently homeless. We have a virtual office now at Salisbury, Salt Lane, the Tens, the Enterprise Network Centre, looking for production facilities and a place to permanently live. There's the 3 of us on the team, but we have about 20 freelancers who've been with us really since the beginning. We were founded in 2010 as a kitchen table business, and we have grown and grown to the point where we are just capped. So it's time to move on, and that's us.
Excellent. Thank you very much indeed. So we've got 3 people around this table now who've got different lengths of operating businesses in the area, who are doing different things. But what's common to them all is they're all driving to look forward, to expand and to grow. So just let's get things started. It's really important. It's nice to know a description about what your business is like, what you're doing, but it's also good to know about you, about what you're like, about what makes you tick. So, a little bit, I'll throw it open first of all, just to see the types of characters you are and what motivates you. So what is it that gives you that desire, that drive for achievement? What's the start on that one?
I think for me, I've got sort of a fairly almost instant answer. I'm very motivated by family, and duty and providing. And I think it's very important for me to actually have a business that's not only a legacy business, but I think particularly for us, our business is about preserving our heritage and where we came from, and actually integrating and delivering to the indigenous population and bringing it all together. So our food is the traditional food, but delivered in a modern way to a modern audience and a UK audience.
So how's it delivered? How do you get it? So I appreciate the bringing ethnic food, but how do you deliver it? How do you get it to the wider population? What do you do with that? How do you do that?
as a service and a product. So either live workshops, in-person corporate events, and virtual, and also by the production of meal kits, which that contains all the dried ingredients and spices that are done the old school way, quantities that people need, all those little bits and pieces that are difficult for people to get, or they're not sure what to do, so that they can finish and produce a meal either themselves at home or via a corporate event or via a customer cook along. So we kind of are quite wide in our delivery, but niche in our product and service.
Yeah. So you can see more of them on the shelves of supermarkets, can't you? Those kits, which I think are really helpful because it gets people cooking at home, and it's made easy for them. But they're still cooking from raw ingredients, which is always good for me, rather than having pre-prepared with potentially some products that you might not like.
We're not mass produced, although we are looking to go into production. We are not generic. Whereas the things that you get on the supermarkets are not what we would cook. They're not what we would eat. So we're actually preserving the original methods of food that Indians really eat at home and North Indians.
Yeah. So you want to make it, you want to get it there. You want to keep your cultural background and your cultural mores and fora, the things that are strong in your culture. And it's also about helping other people to understand that as well and reach out there.
Yeah, exactly. Not being generic.
Brilliant. Excellent.
Saying Indian is like saying European or African. It's more than that.
Yeah, excellent. Great stuff. So Jimmy, how about you picking up there? Because you're coming, you're moving to this country. You've got a base in Nigeria, and you're moving to you're in Swindon and getting started up. So what's driving you to do that? What makes you tick?
Well, for me personally, I've always been motivated by results. I don't do things in any business I've been involved in. I don't do things in half measures. It's either go big or go home. So our idea started 2 years ago, and we thought, okay, it was local, it was in Nigeria. We needed something big. And because we had invested a lot of money in tech, we said we need access to the international market. So that was what drove the business to HQ in the United Kingdom, with a location with Swindon as our base. And so for me, for what we want to do is being able to be, should I say, the number one when it comes to hiring engineering talent using a platform, obviously starting from the United Kingdom and expanding to the EU. So it's been an interesting experience, coming from Africa, trying to understand the business landscape in the United Kingdom. There's so much to learn. I've been fortunate to partner with a great accountant. I've been fortunate to partner with a great lawyer, and also the guys at UK Department of International Trade who facilitated this expansion, and also the guys at Swindon Council as well, who helped with those introductions. And I'm not going to forget to mention the Swindon Institute of Technology as well, who helped us with our first hire. So it's been a roller coaster, but it's been really, really exciting and a steep learning curve.
Yeah, it's excellent. So, and is that drive to achieve on a personal level and from a business point of view that's helped you to get through all of that learning you've had to do to understand it?
Yes. For me, it's both on a personal level and on the business level. On the personal level, it's that being driven by results. Wanting to achieve something so we can look back in 10 years' time and say, hey, we built that and this is where it's going today. So yes, it's that on a personal level. On a business level, absolutely. I'm really, really extremely passionate about hiring and using tech to hire. And again, you look at a lot of small businesses and startups, they actually struggle, with huge recruitment costs, using recruitment agencies. We don't want that. We want every business to have the same level playing field when it comes to hiring quality talent. And so that's why we're doing this, just to say, hey, even though you are a startup, even though you don't have that level of funding, you can still do this. So that's what motivates
Excellent.
from the
Got a mission behind you. Excellent. It's great. Good stuff. Tessa, come in then. Yeah.
I just wanted to ask Jimmy a question. He was making me laugh then about the our business landscape. It made me giggle. And actually, I might ask you to be my business mentor, Jimmy, because if you make it fun, that would really help me. Will your platform, will it help? Because obviously, when you have your own business, I find one of the biggest issues is recruitment and people. And I love all of our team. Some of them drive me nuts, and I probably drive them nuts. But will your platform help any kind of business? I mean, something like me, which is normally seen as an unskilled role. It comes under construction. Actually, all my guys are hugely skilled, massively skilled, and it is all guys at the moment, which is a bit upsetting. But could you help me, someone like me, with a landscaping business?
Oh, yes, absolutely. So we're building our platform in 2 phases. The first phase, which is the lead product, is purely for software engineers. Now, a second product should be coming out sometime in January, and that's for every other type of talent. That's called epeople.net. So it's basically the same principle. So what we're building is on the surface, it looks like an applicant tracking system, but it's not really an applicant tracking system. It's a social network where a company like yours, you can choose to build your own community within that platform. You can say,
I'm phoning you in January. That sounds good.
I might be joining.
Okay, good. So don't bad to Jimmy. You got 2 customers already. That's excellent.
I hope my software engineers are listening, because they're gonna be screaming right now that I've just given them.
Tessa, tell us about your about what drives you then, because your business has been going longer, hasn't it? But
so I've kind of come in at the easy stage, because my husband's run this business since he was about 25 and he's now 64. And I came in 2015, really, because I was working for the National Trust in Swindon and London. I worked 2 days in London and 3 in Swindon. And I was a PA, so I was PA to the person that ran the National Trust. It was a most amazing experience, and I loved it. But I was beginning to feel, and I shouldn't feel like this, but I was beginning to feel a bit like the oldest person sitting in my area. And my boss left, and she went off to Cambridge University, and I just thought, this is bonkers. I need to do something different. And Andrew, my husband, said, well, you're supposed to be quite a good PA, so do you want to come and work with me? Actually, and I'm not advocating on this platform working with family members or pets. It's not the best thing. I just thought, actually, I could work from home. I can, and we can drive. And his business hadn't grown really for 30 years. He'd kept it fairly static. It had to pay for certain things, but he'd kept it static. We're really lucky. We've got 3 guys working with us who have been with Andrew for 17 years, or us now for 17 years. And they're all under 34. So they've been with him since school age. I suppose the stuff that drives me was he has a really good business model. It's, he's never had a debt. He keeps staff, he retains staff. And I was really interested to find out, if we could grow that and that it could afford for both of us to work in the same business. And of course, what happens when you run your own business, unless you're really nasty, you get a bit hooked in by the people. And that's what happens. So we've got this team of 10, and I love working with them, and I love showing them that a lot of them come into us. Some are dyslexic and say that the only thing they could do is construction or landscaping, which is rubbish, because whenever we set them challenges like going to pass their CITB test or CSCS cards and things like that, they manage it, they do it. They might need a bit more confidence, and they might need to understand that it's okay to have somebody sit with you and transcribe if you're struggling with something. It doesn't make you an idiot. And I love all that side of it. I mean, we had a big meeting with our team last week where I asked all of them how they were getting on with their Nest pensions, which we all signed up to. And they all just kind of stared back at me and confessed that they hadn't really signed up to it. But although we were all paying our monies into it, they weren't looking at it. And Andy just said to them, guys, you've got to look at the numbers, whether you have your own business or whether you just have money coming in. So I love the people side of it a huge amount. And I love seeing that, we've got 3 apprentices in a team of 10, which is quite a high level. And I just love seeing people start that journey and help them go through it. And I say to all the guys, I don't really want you working with me in 5 or 10 years' time. I want you doing something different or more exciting. None of them really believe me with that, but I think it is the people thing. And then I also want to, they make me cry a lot as well, because it's really hard looking after people. And that's why I like the idea of anything digital that could help me with that. But I think it's just, of course I'm driven financially, because I need to live, and I want to earn my wage. But it is more about the people. And when we build things, my husband's he's really into his aesthetics, and he doesn't like a lot of the really awful landscaping that happens. And he wants to know that actually we do kind of leave this world and leave it in a better place rather than having trashed it. So he loves making beautiful gardens or beautiful commercial spaces. We've got Martyn. Hello, Martyn.
That's good. Excellent. Thanks. That's brilliant, Tessa. Thank you very much indeed. Hi, Martyn. Nice to see you.
Sorry, I'd like to make a late entrance.
That's all right. Well, you've arrived just perfectly on time. So to everybody, very pleased to be joined now by Martyn Coles from Coles Scaffolding. Martyn, could you just give us a few minutes, just tell us about yourself, your business?
Make a late entrance.
That's all right. Well, you've arrived just perfectly on time. So seems to be a bit of delay, I think, there. Pleased to be joined now by Martyn Coles from Coles Scaffolding. Martyn, could you just give us a few minutes, just tell us about yourself, your business?
Make a late entrance.
That's all right. Well, I think we're in a bit of a problem there. Martyn, I'm sure, will join us again in a few moments when we sort that out. So it's really interesting in terms. So we got, from Jimmy recruiting people, Tessa saying how important the people side of her business is, and Surinder saying this issue about what drives us family. There's a human nature, human element in all of what keeps us going. Just remind us, Surinder, in terms of employment, number of people employed.
So it's only 3 of us that are permanently on the books because of the nature of our events and workshops and live events. We'll suddenly need 20 people, and then maybe it's just office. Yeah. So we have about 20 freelancers that have been with us probably from about 2015, I would say. Yeah. And they're all youngsters that have been able to that are studying. So therefore, they're available weekends and evenings and things like that. But we are finding in terms of recruitment, and this is what's interesting as well with Jimmy, is that as they're all getting to that age where they went to university and now they're getting employment, we're finding it harder and harder to find staff to replace them. And, it's a difficult one. So we're really interested in learning more about different ways of recruiting rather than conventional ways of recruiting.
Okay, so we'll try and keep this as being not just business for Jimmy in the way as we get going. But the other bit I think is in relation to how we can actually help, and we'll pick up about the way that you've had to adapt potentially because of the COVID crisis. And it'd be interesting, Jimmy, from your point of view in Nigeria, maybe if you've been in there, if there's any difference you've noticed there. So we'll come to that. Just quickly, though, let's try the link to Martyn. Martyn, can you do just a quick introduction to yourself? Yeah, that'd be great. Introduction to you in the business, that'd be great.
I'm just Martyn Coles. I own a small to medium-sized scaffolding company in Swindon. We've been going for 8 years now. We currently employ 9 people, plus myself. I don't know what else you want me to.
That's fine. That's great. No, it's really good. It's really good. So we've got the size of the business and the bits and pieces. And Martyn, what we've been talking about was what motivates and what keeps people going. Yeah. And I'll come to, if you can just say a little bit about that. What's it that, gets you out of the bed, keeps you going, drives the business forward?
Well, I've got 4 young daughters, so obviously that's key to pushing forward. And basically, I had quite a bad time as a teenager. So I've turned my life around, and I like to try and help other people better themselves, support them as much as I can, really. So that drives me massively.
Yeah, excellent. I noticed when I see your vans driving around when they've got hashtag no stigma here. What does that mean? What does that refer to?
Well, we're all about diversity and inclusion. You probably noticed that we've got Todd, who's got Down syndrome, and not many people with Down syndrome are given an opportunity. So our motto is no stigma here. So anyone from any background is given an opportunity by us.
Excellent, great stuff. And Jimmy, just out of interest, in terms of your recruitment platform, how will that pick up on the issue about, because I think everybody's really focused on diversity inclusion, because that helps to broaden your employee base, but also increases your chances to recruit people. If you're looking at the skill set there.
Yeah. Well, with regards to diversity, we have taken into consideration it's just similar to what Martyn said. No stigma here. There is the way we have built it, there is no room for discrimination. So, for instance, anybody could choose to anonymize themselves and say, hey, don't judge me with my name. For instance, maybe your name does not sound European, for instance. It could be, we haven't created any means, for you to identify somebody's race, somebody's religion, or their disability profile. So we haven't done that at all. So it's just straight up, you sign up, and all we're interested in is your skills. So that's the bit that is showcased on the candidate's profile. So there's nothing else.
Yeah, it'd be great. I think it's great for business, isn't it? Just to focus on the key element that we can get that going. Excellent. So let's just widen up a little bit then, in terms of, we're coming out of the COVID crisis. We haven't come out of it yet, and there's a prospect that we might face further issues during the autumn and winter. But you are business people. You've shown your commitment to drive and to grow. Where do you think you'd be going into the future? What's your plans for your future growth? And are they affected by COVID now, or have you got a handle on that and how to cope with it? You got a few? Who wants to start on that one?
Yeah. Would you like me to start on that?
Yeah, you kick in. Yeah, start.
Absolutely. Going back 2 years ago, when we conceived this idea, the way we built it originally was not, our version 1 was not, was okay, but COVID came and we sat down and thought, hey, this is an opportunity for us. How do we make this, for a company to hire anybody anywhere in the world without geographical barriers? So COVID, I'm not saying COVID was a good thing, but COVID made us think. So the way what we're trying to do is to make sure a company can be in Scotland, Aberdeen, and can have an employee in Dusseldorf, for instance, and that person can be hired, paid, onboarded without you having to physically be there. So for us going forward, we believe this is the new way anyway, because the world of work is changing. Our vision, actually, or rather our mission, is to be a leading provider for distributed teams, for companies to be able to hire people anywhere in the world without any restrictions with regards to geographical location. Sorry, Jeremy, that's interesting. So you'd be strong on the digital side, but I think about Tessa's business about landscaping, about Surinder's about Punjabi cooking, and about Martyn's about scaffolding. Just interested from their point of view, they'll need a digital platform, but they won't be potentially as digitally first as you are, maybe. Oh yes, absolutely.
I don't know.
Let's Surinder come in on that one then. Yeah.
No, I think for us it was a real turnaround, because prior to COVID we had done a 10-city European roadshow with a global client, and they had rebooked us. Their Los Angeles marketing company had rebooked us for May 2020, which of course everything got cancelled from March 2020.
Yeah.
So we looked at this and we straight away went on to digital. We straight away delivered virtual cook-alongs. We approached our existing customers and we asked them what they thought. Then we offered some free refreshers to test out the platform and to test out the engagement and whether it worked for them, and it worked for us. And then we went on and sold our products via people coming and joining us every week on a cook along with the dinner kit. So that took customer product sales up by 1,200% within about 3 weeks, because everybody wanted to join us on a cook along. We then went back to the original corporate client in the August and said, look, we can't no one's doing the roadshow, and this year, how about we deliver to your teams? And we delivered to their teams in London, Madrid, I think, Southern Ireland, Greece, Paris, and I think and India and Germany. And you actually realise how much it opens it up. Everybody can join from wherever they are.
And then your products can be easily sent overseas.
Yeah, well, logistically, we had to allow lead time for some countries with customs, but generally it's straightforward. And we've since done that, gone on to do corporate virtual events all the way through COVID. So in some ways, it's changed the platform for us a little bit.
Yeah. What do you think, Tessa, in terms of your business? Do you see that as being a possibility for you at all? Will it make things different for you?
We're obviously on the ground. I've got 4. We're quite top heavy at the moment, so we've got 4 managers, including Andrew and myself. And we're really traditional in our recruitment methods, which I am trying to look at different stuff. But we tend to advertise, bring people in. Our best method is always via apprenticeships, just because we tend to keep them for the 18 months of the apprenticeship, and then they hopefully stay with us. I would love to see more models in the future whereby perhaps, I don't know, if I'm having a quiet week and I know Martyn has got a massive job that needs to happen, that my guys' skills can be transferable. They're all really practical people. And that actually that more practical skilled roles like scaffolding, construction, landscaping, whatever it might be, could perhaps collaborate a bit more. And I have moments where I need to push a big team through something and I want to trust them. And when I do the normal traditional thing, which is to go and get an agency staff, it just doesn't tend to work out, and that trust isn't quite there between us all. Whereas if I felt I was going to go and collaborate with a like-minded person like Martyn, I just think there's a bit of a gap there in the market to make things happen. I mean, we turn down a lot of work, and Martyn, you probably turn down work, don't you? Because you physically won't have the team there.
It's very difficult, isn't it? Because with ours, it's not so easy as getting an agency staff, because you don't, like for me, probably yourself, my business means a lot to me. So the people that we employ and put at the forefront have got to represent you. And from an agency's point of view, they can just send that person and they may not have the qualities that we, or the methods that we have as a company.
If they turn up.
Well, that's it. So what we've actually done, like through COVID, we've done quite well on the ground, and we've continued to work. Fortunately, I know a lot of others couldn't, but because of the cost of material increases, which I'm sure everyone's aware of, we've actually purchased another company. It was more cost effective to take over that company and get their material than it was to actually buy it independently, which sounds mental really, but so we've gained quite a bit over COVID, and this next 12 months is going to be quite testing, I'm sure, for everyone. But my motto is, once you're in, isn't you? So
keeping the market, keeping competitive. It's interesting. So if you're a small business wanting to look, and you've got a good stock of equipment, you might be quite an attractive purchase at the moment.
Well, hopefully we do offer a good service, but like you said, it's very difficult to get the staff and compete with bigger companies on the job because they've got the workforce.
So looking ahead in terms of your businesses, you've come through probably amongst the most difficult and challenging business circumstances that this country's faced for many, many years, and is still just getting through it. It's probably going to be a good couple of years before we see, a proper recovery coming to the fore. Looking ahead, 5 years' time, a bit longer, what is it that's going to keep you? What's going to be there that's going to keep you in business and keep you operating? Who's going to be the first to their crystal ball? Go on, Tessa.
I think for us, what we've done, so we've just gone through our team's personal development reviews, and normally we write quite a lot of blurb, and the team get to speak to us about anything they want to mention, any issues, positives. We say what we think's gone well and what hasn't gone well. And then I set the whole team objectives for the rest of the year. And we'll meet up halfway through the year and we'll say, are you meeting that objective? And am I doing enough to support you in that? And actually, those objectives, I normally have about 5 objectives and, quite a lot of waffle in between. And this year, I've actually just given everybody one word. So what you would perhaps consider to be our foreman, rather than giving his 5 objectives, I've just written team in capital letters. And I've said, whatever you need to do to make sure that for the next 12 months, because we wanted to be about 12 people, or I would like to do that, but we're sticking at 10 at the moment. But whatever it is you do and whatever you need, I need you to give me the best team I can possibly have. And he sort of said, well, I don't understand what you mean. You mean training? And I said, anything. I said, well, I'm happy to sit here and go through what all those elements are. But we have to have the very best team, because if we don't, we're always undermined by people who'll say, oh, I can go and build a driveway on my own, and don't go and get a limited company or whatever. So I have to show people our point of difference. A lot of people have, even if they've got loads of money, they don't want to think that they're wasting money. What we also won't do over the next 5 years, and we used to do it, but we've stopped now, is we won't go and correct other people's bad jobs. So Andrew has laughed at me slightly when he used to come into the office and say, tell me what clients you've got rid of today, Tess. Who have you managed to get rid of today? Thank you very much. Because what I've done is really focus on who our real client is. And I'm much more confident about that now. When people ask us to quote for something, or if I know I don't want to work with that person, I just don't do it anymore. And I don't correct other people's bad work. So for us, I suppose it's a point of excellence and having an excellent team and being confident when somebody phones me and says, why should I? Because you will pay more with us because we're limited and we do training and we look after the team. But I feel confident that I can tell people why you've got to pay that bit more. And it's that, a bit like with you, Surinder, that it's that word authenticity.
Yeah.
We feel authentic in what we do. I would hope that I would pay a little bit more for Surinder's meal kit or whatever, because it's authentic what you're getting. I want the real deal. I think that's how we'll push forward. Because just going back to Martyn quickly, the supply chain is a nightmare. And although we've had an okay time through the pandemic, obviously working the team has been difficult, keeping everyone safe has been very difficult. Actually, our difficult patch is just starting now, because, York stone was at £80 a square metre. It's now £150 a square metre, and clients don't really understand that those enormous costs, and they're in aggregates, food, people, whatever it is, the costs have escalated. And I'm not saying that to be a drain or be depressing. We've all just watched our different ways.
Yeah, absolutely. So I think we're facing that when you're dependent on suppliers, and I think that's coming out right across the country, isn't it? In so many different sectors about changes there. Surinder, what's it going to be for you then?
So in 5 years, so much of what Tessa said, we, as Sophia and myself, would echo excellence and teamwork, standards, knowing who your customer is. We are not a generic supermarket offering. We're not a generic offering for the corporate customer. We are quite niche and specialists, and we want to maintain a high standard. So I think that is a real similarity. I think for us, the key thing is the expansion that we're looking to achieve. Whether that in 5 years' time is on one small holding site where we can run cookery school, we can run corporate events, we can run pop-up restaurants, we can run our series of events, perhaps a farm shop and a retail outlet. There's so many different ways that we can bring all the different things we do together, either on one site or on two sites, whilst in this process trying to separate our family home, because that work-life
balance,
has been a real issue for us, where so much is done from the home or traveling out. So we're having a dedicated site. But I think one of the other things we're really interested to do is knowing how hard it is to start up and how everything, the odds are stacked against you. We are very keen when we have our production site to actually offer that out to people who are wanting to do the same thing, but can't afford to do something on their own. And it would give other producers a platform to come in with us once we can get a site and find the correct commercial machinery and know which way we're going. I think being able to share that with other producers, it would be something also that we would look. So this 5-year plan, or this 5-year vision of working towards, with a solid map, really. It's not a dream. It's calculated risks we're taking with a plan. That road, you don't really know which way that road may go. You know where you want to get to, and along the way it may adapt and change. But essentially it will be bringing all of our offering together, which in the one or two sites, we hope.
So it's like choosing your own route based on the traffic's available, isn't it? To watching, which is where you're going to go. Absolutely, being agile. Yeah, excellent, great. Martyn, in terms of your area, I mean, you've got, you presumably from your scaffolding side, you'll be wanting to look to more construction, more adaptations of homes and refurbishment of homes, etc. That's potentially a growth area for you, is it?
Well, yeah, we're looking to expand. Well, I was actually going to expand before COVID hit. That was in the pipeline, but obviously it was a massive worrying time for everyone. So now we're not fully out of it, as you said earlier. We've put in place where we want to go, or I want to go anyway, as a company. But my 5-year plan would be to have the lads that are going through their training courses now, the apprenticeships, valuable members of our team, and I would absolutely love to open up a training centre. That's like a goal for me, because even around Wiltshire, there's nowhere in scaffolding that does any training. You have to go quite far. So that would be a personal goal for me, but the main thing is getting the company to where it is, because as Tessa said, we're always up against companies that are a lot cheaper, but we try and stick to our morals, and we do all the accreditations and all the training and the insurances. So that cost is an element of the service you get. So
excellent. That's brilliant. Great. How about you, Jimmy? 5 years, newly established business in the area?
Yes. For us, the key thing that will keep us going within the next 5 years is the people. We've had some great people who have been working day and night the last 2 years to ensure we get to this point where we are today. We still believe investing in the right team, in training, in upskilling our team will get us there. So the people are very, very key. The team, they're very, very key to this happening. I've got a great team, by the way. And expansion as well will keep us in business. So we're already looking at how we can partner with companies that are in locations where we are not physically present, to be able to have access to being able to remit the right taxes, especially for companies who are hiring staff offshore to keep on the side of the law, just because we are a platform and it is entirely virtual. So that's also important for us. The network as well, the network that we build, and we spent the last year building networks in the UK, building networks as far as Estonia and across Africa as well. So the networks that we build would take our product to ensure we are able to penetrate new markets. So hence platforms like this, where we are able to talk about our product, conferences as well. Also partnerships, which I've already mentioned, is very, very key for us. For instance, I'm just looking at the chat, and Andrew Wells just mentioned, it will be great for the platform to be to see the digital platform connected with apprentice and apprenticeship recruitment. Now, this sort of partnership I'm talking about, how we can partner with colleges for apprentices, colleges and businesses, and help them realize apprenticeship recruitment as well. So these are the plans that we have, and we also have a plan where part of our business plan where we intend to train people to become software engineers. So these are some things that you could partner with the Institute of Technology, to be the ones who will do the training while we, amplify that as well. So these things will help us, survive and be still a going concern in the next 5 years.
Excellent. That's brilliant. It's really good. I think what's really good is oh, sorry, Tess, you come in there. Yeah, sorry.
No, it's a really quick question, and it's just so annoying that Jimmy is so obviously Mr. Tech and I'm not. Because I'm really interested. Jimmy, you said you could see the chat. I can't see the chat. I can only see.
Click on the event. Click on event.
I couldn't see it either, but
you can click on stage.
See, Jimmy, I need you in too many ways. Right, I'm there. Sorry, I interrupted. Carry on.
Yeah, it's all right. It's okay. It's good. Excellent. So what was really good is coming out there. Different businesses, but what you're all emphasising is how important it is to have high quality engagement with your staff, and a high quality staff. And actually, potentially also separating out yourself out, marking yourself out as different because of your quality, and that's helping you to evolve into the different levels that you want to go to, the different stages, and to get you to so the engaging and the evolving and the going side of things. So you're driving yourself forward. So it's just a last bit for me for you. I just want you to give me, if you can do, a short response. What do you want to see change in the world of work or your sector? What's going to make it easy? If something changed, what would you want to see change, either in the world of work or in your sector? Surinder, do you want to give us a kick off on that one?
Like that, isn't it? There's so many answers.
Yeah.
I think,
give you time to think, Martyn. We'll come around to you.
So what would I like to see change in the world of work? I think as somebody who's been self-employed for most of my life and raised 3 children alone with no network or family or support, I think one of the things that I've noticed is that the talent that you get with women, and actually one of our guys that works for us is a single father, and I make sure those children come with him to work, and anything he needs to do is around his childcare. And I make sure any hours I want him to work for are around getting the kids from school and everything that he needs to do for them, and they can come at any time. And what I would ideally like to see when we can sort of get our final site is that we should have perhaps an on-site staff nanny.
Great.
So that people can, if they need, bring that. I don't know how realistic that is, but what I would like to see in the working world is a place where instead of that whole dropping your kids off or working from home, because now it's gone from one extreme to the other, that somewhere in between where, yes, you can't take them to work and work, but there should be a place where maybe the employer, if possible, could provide, a room with that is essentially not a creche so much, but, after a place for homework, and then you can go home together, and it's just so much easier for women to be able to work that way. Excellent.
Great stuff. Yeah. Jimmy, what about you?
Yes, I actually have an opinion about this. Looking at, I lived in the UK previously, moved back to Nigeria about 9 years ago. Coming back to the UK, I noticed that the recruitment sector has not really changed. It's still quite traditional. It's still quite, businesses are still very adverse, to changes. What I'd like to see change is, on one side, businesses need to embrace new technology. They need to embrace new ways of recruitment. What you have companies post jobs on job boards, and that's about it. But there's no real innovation, in the sector. Now, with regards to recruitment, the big recruitment companies in the UK, yes, they're making money, but they've not evolved. They're still very traditional, post a job, speak to the candidate, and how about collaborating with the candidate even before hire?
Excellent stuff. That's good stuff. I'm going to cut you off on that one, Jimmy. Thanks for that. So that's collaboration, the technology and innovation, embracing it. Yeah. Tessa, quickly from you, and then to Martyn.
Really quickly for me, and I suppose it's about Martyn and my business more, is I just want people to value people who go out and do a job that perhaps they don't want to do or are unable to do, and understand that it is a skilled role. To not employ somebody to put your scaffolding up who hasn't got any insurance and stuff like that and doesn't really know how to do it, and to understand the value that these businesses are bringing. And I want people to have more talks in schools at a very young age about, scaffolding is a great thing to go into, construction is great, recruitment, cooking, landscaping, that they are really valuable areas, hugely valuable, and they're undervalued.
Fantastic, great. Martyn, quickly.
Mine would just be inclusion, like a bit more like, obviously we've seen over the last few years that more women are coming into construction, more of more diversity in getting people with disabilities into roles more, because we're struggling for construction workers. So it's I'd like to see that really.
Brilliant. What a fantastic point to end on. And I'll just say thank you so much indeed to our panel for being really informative and sort of engaging with each other. And the comment is interesting, 4 very different businesses, but you've come forward and there's been so much similarity between you, but you're coming from different ways. And I think that's one of the strengths of this area and the strength of business in generally, that although separate, there's so much that binds us together, and collaboration is the key that's going to make us better, not separation and all-time conflict and competition.
Can I just interject to say, although yes, essentially food and cooking, I really sort of sum us up as being a sort of culinary and cultural service and experience, and I think that's what we all have in common is service. That we are all a high quality service, and we are giving
good point.
Customer experience and the customer journey.
Fantastic.
Regardless of what we do.
Indeed, that's really well made, and that's a lovely summary, Surinder. Thank you very much indeed. So thanks very much indeed to all the panelists, and best wishes to everyone. So I hope everybody enjoys the rest of the conference, and then move on to the next phase, in which we've got the opportunities to go to your network and your other sessions following this one. But thanks very much indeed to Tessa, to Surinder, to Jimmy, and to Martyn.
Sorry I'm late.
That's all right, no problem.
Take care, everyone.
Bye-bye now. Thank you.